Peace, family. How you doing? It's Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. And I just want to say good morning. Put this phone down. Good morning to you. Today is August the 18th. I hate when I have to look down at the date like I don't remember it. Sometimes I really don't. Sometimes I feel like every day is Monday. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that way sometimes because it feels like every day is like a repeated process. Um, but the thing is, I want you to do and to know is that I appreciate you. I appreciate you every time that you show up. I appreciate you every time that you are tapping into the podcast. Peace, good morning. Tapping into the podcast because to me, it's important of always giving and showing gratitude. And every time that you watch, I will always show you that. So if you don't get gratitude anywhere in the world, you know that you can get it right here on this podcast. Consistency is currency. You can either watch it on YouTube or listening to various podcast distribution sites, whether you're listening to it on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts. Those are just the various locations. So if you ever want to listen to it, for those who can't see it, or for those who see it, if you want to listen to it at a later time, you can always go to those platforms and type in Consistency is Currency, and you're able to listen to either this one live again, or, well, again, I can't say live again because it's no longer live. Listening to it again at another time. So again, thank you. I'd appreciate you for just being here because that is always important to me. Today, we're going to be tapping in. First time watching via LinkedIn, usually on Facebook. Okay, appreciate it. Yeah, my LinkedIn family, those who are watching it on LinkedIn, I added LinkedIn like 2 days ago just to tap into that subconscious mindset for those that are in that LinkedIn world. So this is different today. So today we're going to be talking about change your enablers. Change your enablers. So what I want you to do before we get into it heavily, I want you to put inside the chat enablers, because when you understand the definition of the word enablers, it has various definitions. Like it's like night and day with the definition of the word enablers, but it's really your perspective and how you use enabler to actually benefit you and not the opposite side of enabler. Because enabler is like it's like a coin. You flip it, one side is good and the other side is terrible. But we're going to tap into the good side because we want you to change your enablers, because I want you to take yourself from where you are to where you can go, which is forward in a direction that is progressive. So let's go ahead and jump into it right now. I don't want to be on long because today is like, wow. All right. So change your enablers. So for those that may be new to the platform, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it on a replay, you will always get definition of the words, and I would invert it, whether it be red over white, white over red. That means if I say red over white, that means I want you to pay attention to the words that are in red. If I say white over red, that means pay attention to the words that are in white. Too easy. All right, bet. So let's go with the definition of the word enabler. So it says enabler is a person who encourages or enables negative or self-destructive behavior in another. This is that two-sided coin. A person who encourages or enables negative or self-destructive behavior in another. So the inversion that I want you to pay attention to on this is white over red. It is a person who encourages. So when I'm saying change your enablers, that is a self-assessment that you have to take on yourself, with yourself. You can do it by yourself, because I want you to look at, again, in this definition, the definition is not all positive, but you can pay attention to the positive things that is within it. A person who encourages or enables negative or self-destructive behavior in another. But I want you to pay attention to the white over red, a person who encourages. So as a way of changing your enablers, who is that person that encourages you? It's too easy to have a negative enabler. It's too easy to have someone that you feel holding you back or holding you down. It's too easy to put yourself in a situation where someone is saying that is an enabler for you, so that's why you do that bad thing. But the conversation that we're having and we're communicating about today is to change that enabler. So the person who encourages you, that person can be you. It doesn't always have to be someone else. That person can be you. Learning how to encourage you, even when times get hard. Learning how to encourage you, even when you feel like giving up. Learning how to encourage you, even when today is hard for you to deal with. You may have to plug into yourself to recharge yourself, to put yourself in a position to where you can encourage yourself to continue on throughout the day. So let's go with the second definition. This second definition, I like this definition because to me, it gives a different type of energy with the word enabler. So this definition says to make able, provide with means, ability, or opportunity. To make able, provide with means, ability, or opportunity. So this inversion can go either way. It can go red over white or white over red. But the first inversion that I want you to pay attention to is red over white, which is provide with means. That means you're providing with purpose. That means you are providing with reason to have an achievable outcome. So you can invert the other side, which is white over red, which is to make able. Like, are you allowing yourself to make it able for you to continue to do what you do? If not, then you're going to need to change your enabler. Are you allowing yourself to create the ability for you to continue to do it over and over again? Are you opening doors of opportunity? It's too easy to allow, or not, I can't say allow because sometimes you just don't allow it. It happens because that's how it is sometimes. It is the situation of doors shutting in your face, but are you allowing yourself to look at those doors as opportunity? Because for every door that closed, there was another door that is waiting to be opened for you. But it's easy for you to look at that door being shut as, well, maybe I shouldn't do this anyway. I quit. But to change your enabler is for you to look at that door as an opportunity. For you to look at that situation as an opportunity. For you to be in that space to where I've learned something, and because I've learned something, so therefore I know that I can do it because I learned what I should have done the last time. That's because you have acknowledged that that is not going to stop me from being the who that I am. And it's not going to stop me from going in a direction that is progressive. And it's not going to stop me from being that great person that I know that I am. So I need to learn these lessons if I'm ever going to reach my destination. So let's take this quick deep dive, and then we're going to go into these four points. So deep dive in changing your enablers. And throughout the podcast, the things that resonate with you, go ahead and put it inside the chat, because there's going to be people that watch it on a replay and they can resonate with the things that you put inside the chat as well. They're able to tap into what you see as well. So the deep dive in changing your enablers. The change of your enablers could be a change in your behavior, a change in how you manage your expectations, a change in how you perceive certain things. Because if you want to put yourself in a space, sometimes you have to be the person that has to create the space for you to be in. right? Because it's not always about someone not helping you, but can you help yourself? Can you speak life into yourself? Can you speak life into your situation? If not, then you need to see or to begin to create a plan. Create a plan to change. If you're going to change your enablers, the first thing that you're going to have to do is to create that plan to change. Because you've seen the definition. The definition all day is telling you that it is something that is destructive that you can put into another person. Like the definition is designed, the original definition is designed for you to, like, say someone who drink alcohol, and the person who would be considered the enabler is the person that continues to buy the alcohol for the other person. So what if you change the enabler to where it's like, look, I'm not buying you alcohol. Let's go and get a smoothie. Let's go. You're changing them by not allowing you to buy the alcohol for the person that wants the alcohol. But what if you are the enabler for you? So changing your behavior has to have a plan in order for you to change what it is, the outcome, the outcome that you want it to be. So the first thing in changing the plan or creating a plan for the change is to stop making the excuses. Stop making the excuses for yourself, because the excuse could be the very thing that is holding you back. The very thing that is holding you back from reaching your destiny, or the thing that is holding you back from reaching that goal, or the thing that is holding you back from actually acknowledging that you have a gift to begin with. Because your gift is your innate ability, that thing that you were born with, not something that you go by, but that thing that is within inside of you that allows you to be great, and not making excuses for it. Because again, that excuse could hold you back from getting to that place that is in between you and your goal. And when you understand that, you begin to make the possible possible. And when you make the possible possible by understanding that my excuses is no longer going to be used as the enabler for me not to do what I want to do. So as I begin to tear down my excuses, now I want to begin to create a routine that I can work on this muscle that I'm now working on. Like, you know what? That's not what I want to do. I want to change how I do things. So now you're going to have to create a routine of positive affirmations, or creating something positive within inside of your thoughts. So in your routine, I want to create this routine where I am consistently, entirely tapped into my own discipline level by creating discipline, by creating that routine, by being able to acknowledge the who that you are and doing it over and over again. Like, you know what? I'm better than this. I'm strong. I'm smart. I've seen this before. So now I know how to deal with it, because I have acknowledged the door that was closed, but the door closing is allowing me to open more doors of opportunity, more windows of opportunity for myself. Now, after you begin to create the plan and tear down the excuses, now you have the ability to hold yourself accountable, because saying it to yourself out loud allows you to acknowledge what you're saying. Like, you know what? It sounds good coming out my mouth. I'm proud. Just saying that I'm proud itself, that the power of the P, when you said I'm proud, as it pushes through your lips, there is a new energy that you're saying. I'm proud of me. Success is who I am. Just saying that word success, it sounds like it is a deflation of you when you felt like there was nothing that was going to come about from your situation, or everything that you tried, it did not work. But when you get into that realm of success, that is the diffuser to say, you know what, man, it took a lot of work. It took a lot of things that I went through, but I have reached a level of success. And I can create that plan to change because I knew what it was like when I was my own enabler of tearing myself down. And when you acknowledge that you have a disruptive behavior, it really begins your process of change. Because let's look at it this way. So the question for you right now is, what is that behavior that you have that is a parasite to your progress? That's a real question. So you can put that down in the chat. For those that are transparent enough to say, you know what, I do this, whatever it is. So what is that behavior that you have that is a parasite to your progress? Because that behavior that you have that is a parasite to your progress, that is that negative side of the enabler. That is your destructive enabler. You are the self-destructing enabler to your life because you haven't identified that disruptive behavior. When you acknowledge the disruptive behavior, that means you can see it, you can say it, you can touch it, you can change it. Because you can't change something that you don't acknowledge because you're making up an excuse for the disruptive behavior by not acknowledging that it exists. Because when you acknowledge that that thing exists, you can look at it and say, you know what, I can do better. I mean, sometimes it may take you to be in a conversation with somebody else and they may bring up that disruptive behavior. You're like, you know what, I never looked at it that way. And because you said it, I see it now from a perspective that I can acknowledge that disruptive behavior exists. But don't allow that disruptive or that parasite behavior to be the reason for your own self-destruction. Because acknowledging it, it uncovers it. And now that you uncovered that disruptive behavior, you can begin to change your enablers and work something out for the good. Because when you change your enablers, you begin to change their energy that you begin to change their energy. And when you change their energy, you can then possibly change the outcome. Because you have acknowledged that that exists. And when you have acknowledged that that exists, now you begin the process of resourcing resilience. I mean, the resilience is the having the ability to bounce back. So because you have acknowledged that disruptive behavior, you begin to resource your resilience. That means you're looking for things to make it better. You're going after those positive things that can create a level of resiliency in you to where you wasn't torn down by the doors that was closed, or you was not torn down by that person that was enabling you to continue to make excuses, and it wasn't breathing life into you in order for you to say, you know what, I don't have to make that excuse anymore because that excuse that I've made is not beneficial to me. So therefore, I am going to seek out things that is going to allow me to bounce back. And it's going to help you because you're doing it with what? With the means of change. You're doing it with the intent of creating something different. You're doing it with the notion of I can change, but I must want to change if change is going to take place. And now after you've done all that, after you have created the plan of change, after you have acknowledged that the disruptive behavior, now you're beginning to create a proactive management. That's that muscle again. That's doing that thing over and over again. So as you're creating that proactive management, that's establishing, maintaining, and restoring the relationship with yourself. Like, you got to love you. You got to love you enough to know that if I am going to change my enablers, that means I have to love myself enough to tell myself that you got this. So as you begin to create that proactive management muscle, you're going to have to optimize where you go, who you're around, understanding that the community that you surround yourself, I'm optimizing it because I want it better. I want it stronger. I want myself to be stronger. And doing that, sometimes you have to acknowledge what things that you're watching, that you're seeing, that you mentally consume, and then manage those proactive activities. Like, I'm going for a walk, I am going for a run, I am going to work out, I am going to eat healthy, I am going to write down in a journal, or I am going to do affirmations in the morning, or I'm going to whatever it is. That proactive management, it allows you to hunt the good stuff. It allows you to change those enablers to where it is going to benefit you a whole lot more because you have acknowledged it in the first place. And now that you're doing that and you're in that space, it's just really going to begin to grow because you have begun to change your enablers. Your enablers don't always have to be the bad side, right? It's easy to point the finger at the bad things, but can you acknowledge the great things that are happening in your life? Can you acknowledge the healthy situations that you've been in that have allowed you to grow into who that you are? Change how you see it. Change your perspective. Then you have the ability to change your enablers for the good, because you're worthy of it, right? You're worthy of being happy. You don't have to always watch movies of everybody else being happy. You can be happy too. But you have to change your enablers, change the things that you see, the places that you go, the community that you surround yourself with, and change the way you think. Because that self-destructing behavior or that self-sabotage behavior, sometimes those are the enablers that tear down everything that you do. But change the way you do those things, and I guarantee you, when you change those enablers, you're going to be able to look at things from a different perspective and be like, you know what? I don't think I want to go that way no more, because my proactive management won't allow me to continue to do it, because I want something bigger, better, and greater. And I know that I can accomplish it. I know that I can have it because it's mine. And in order for me to do it, I must acknowledge it, and I must repeat it, and I must develop that muscle and be disciplined in doing so. All right. I appreciate y'all just for being here. It's Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. I'll see you tomorrow on Friday. Friday's the last day of the week. So that's the last podcast of the week. And what I want to know from you is, what were your takeaways? Put down your takeaways inside the chat, because I want to learn from you just as well as I am here in the morning, just putting out. I'm gonna be transparent moment. I didn't know what I was going to talk about today. To be honest, I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to walk. I didn't do none of this stuff because I didn't want to. But I can acknowledge that, and I can be transparent in saying it. But because I didn't do it, it allowed me to sit still and to create what the conversation was going to be like and be about, because that's just how it happened. I'm just being honest. But hey, y'all be blessed, and I'll see you tomorrow right here at 7:30. And y'all continue to be consistent, because consistency can create currency. Peace.